Hello, my name is John. You have managed to stumble up on my very first attempt at a YouTube video. It has been an experience at this point just in getting started. I made the decision back, I don't know, a couple of weeks ago that I was going to attempt this. So today is January the 14th, 2021, Thursday. And I received my video editing equipment this past Saturday. I did go to some clips from a trip that we had made, built some of that, and then had to order a microphone to hook to this camera. Actually, I'm working this with an iPhone, and then had to deal with, of course, the software on the computer. Trying to learn how to work the editing program and how to splice together the sound with the video, try to work in a little bit of background music, then try to balance the audio in it. And then last night I came out into the camper. We're in the backyard now. It's January, so here we are, and shot a lot of video last night. And then when I tried to download that, it became a real problem, I think, because I had gone too deep into it. And the first one that I ran was like 18 minutes, thinking that I could come back and cut back out whatever I needed to. And it didn't work particularly well. So I don't know what the problem was. I managed to take it to work. I was able to get it off onto a video chip from there. And, I'm sorry, a flash drive. And then, after having looked at it, I wasn't that real pleased with it, so I decided I would give it another shot here. So, the reason for doing this is that I'm still working, and it is looking at what will I do when I stop working full time. And I'm getting closer and closer to that. The thought of sitting around and doing nothing absolutely does not appeal to me, and I've had to work with what am I going to do to keep myself busy. We bought this camper April of this last year, 2020, and had made the decision that we would begin to make some trips. We've actually owned campers now for probably 15 years. This will be the fourth one that we've had. But the others that we've used more like an apartment, as we kept them at a fishing marina down in South Louisiana. They worked really well for that, enjoyed that. We did take them pull a few times, but as a whole, that's where they were at. So for this one, this last year, unfortunately, the fishing camp with the hurricanes in the Gulf, it was very difficult being able to get down there, stay down there. We're about 160 miles off of the coast from there, and it seemed like every time we went there was an issue with either the weather, and when the storms would come in, of course we'd have to pull out the boat, pull out the camper, and then it's a process in getting that back in, and then you go down and you have a problem with the boat, and then you're shut down again. And that was just kind of the way that year worked. So hopefully we'll be able to do better this year. But we did manage to take a couple of trips. That was back in October. We went up to Gatlinburg, Tennessee, Pigeon Forge area. We spent 12 days on that trip. We learned something about harvest toast, and that's something that we truly enjoyed. On that trip, we were gone for 12 days, and we stayed, I believe, 4 nights at Harvest Toast stays on our way, 2 going up, 2 going down. And the answer is, yeah, it's about 600 miles from here to there, and we took 2 stops in between. So you can tell we're not exactly racing to get anywhere. Matter of fact, what we've come to the conclusion of, as we've learned as we've begun doing these things now, is that for us, and us being my wife Donna and I, that we don't like traveling more than about 200 to 250 miles a day. 250 is on the outside. We run 60 to 62 miles per hour. We stop whenever we darn well feel like it. We have lunch along the way, and ideally begin moving somewhere around 10 o'clock in the morning, stop moving somewhere around 3 o'clock in the afternoon. At this point, when we're making trips, we have mapped those trips out. And a lot of that simply, I know a lot of people that they make these calls as they move and on the road. We're simply not comfortable with it. And at this point, there are so many campers that are out there today that had not been there, that we've had occasions where we were trying to make adjustments and it was difficult because they're just things are booked up, especially if you're on a weekend, and of course if you travel you know that. So what I'll do is go in and I map my trip out. The trip that we're going to talk about with this video is a trip that we actually did December of this year, when our main objective was to go to Disney World, which was something I would have told you I never would make that venture again. But Disney World, so we mapped it out to where, from where we live to Disney World, and then to break that down to where our trip would run somewhere in the neighborhood of 230 miles a day is ideally where I want to be. And then I overlaid that then with, I pulled maps on Google Maps, Harvest Host map, and Good Sam map. Ideally, the Harvest Host map was one that it was my primary because I wanted to try to hit those stops. We had had such good luck with them on our Tennessee trip. And the answer is no, I'm not pushing Harvest Host. We actually took the membership strictly because there was, when we bought the camper, a half price deal on it. And at the same time, I will tell you, yeah, I'm going to re-up on it because we absolutely enjoyed the stops that we made. And you'll notice a lot of videos that you'll find something where it says click down somewhere and you can save 15%. Well, I don't know how to put something down there, and I don't know how to save that 15%, but I'm pretty sure that if you go to their site, they're going to offer to save 15% no matter what. So we broke the trip down, and the first Harvest Host stop that we came to was in Tallahassee, Florida. Tallahassee, Florida has the Tallahassee Automobile Museum. I had looked at some YouTubes on that, couldn't find, but really there was one about 8 years old. I did find some other piece on it. There wasn't a lot on it out there. Had I known that I was going to attempt this at that time, I would have shot some video. I did shoot a lot of still pictures, and that's what I'll show you here in a little bit. But the museum is just nice. You couldn't ask for anything any nicer and the displays they have are just excellent. The Harvest Host part of that deal is that we're able to go there, stay there for free for the night, parked in the place. The place was excellent. It was nice fenced area, good area, and then as part of the Harvest Host deal, if you will, is that you'll go in and support that business. So we did go in. Our tickets for a senior ticket was $15 a piece. It was well worth the money, and then the benefit of a place to stay. So we really enjoyed that. So the whole trip that we took, 17 days. The first video that I'm going to shoot here, and that will be on the first 2 days, and then the others will be however they fit into what looks like I want to fit them together as it comes together. So at this moment, I don't know what this will be named, and haven't set up the channel yet, so you'll know about the same time I do. I hope it entertains you. Thank you. We spent our first night in Robertsdale, Alabama at the Azalea Acres RV Park. We found Acres to be just an exceptional campground. It's a smaller campground. It's on a little over 20 acres, but it's only about a mile and a half off the interstate. Price on it at that was $36 a night with a Good Sam's discount. The park itself was just nice. It was a place where you felt good being. Quite a bit of retired people that were there. When we arrived, they checked us in quickly. The gentleman got on his little golf cart, drove us around, pulled through sites, mostly grass, but it was all fine. But we had absolutely no problems. All sites there are full hookups. We thoroughly enjoyed our visit at the Tallahassee Automobile Museum. I would encourage you to stop in and visit if you're in the area. The staff was super and you are free to wander at your own pace. Price of admission for seniors was $15. They're located just off I-10 in Tallahassee. The facility is located in a good area inside gated grounds. As Harvest Host members, we were able to stay here for free. It rained heavily the night we stayed. We were a bit concerned as we were parked on grass. However, the ground is very sandy, so there was no standing water and we had no problems pulling out. In conclusion, I would just like to say to the Tallahassee Automobile Museum, and you, thank you. Thank you very much.